This is Fred Beck from Fred's Fighting. This is the Fred's Fighting annual Christmas special. I'm joined by Mams Taylor over Zoom, wearing a lovely Grinch hat. Really getting in the Christmas spirit. This is going out on Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas and bar humbug, Fredericks.
You're not a Christmas fan?
No, I actually love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday for sure. I love the whole spirit of it. I like when it snows and it's a white Christmas and all the activities, but mostly being around family and the spirit of giving, Fredericks.
You just went Christmas shopping as well. Well, this will be going out on Christmas Day. So your plan for Christmas Day is?
Um, gonna open some prezzies and with the family, have some good food, play some board games, watch some movies, just family time, and make sure that my animals all feel included too.
Mm. Do you get presents for your animals, for the horses and donkeys? Is that a thing you do? I know people get presents for their dogs.
Honestly, I get them presents pretty much on a weekly basis. Whatever I see, I'm the biggest sucker on Instagram and Facebook when those ads come and it's something about, are you worried about your horse's health? Boom, purchase three of those. I'm a total sucker for it. I think I spend more money on my horses than anything else and my donkeys.
No, I can imagine those personalized ads do probably make a lot of money from you. We'll go
They're
straight.
very convincing.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Yeah, when you're talking about something on your phone and then it just pops up immediately, it does seem quite odd. We'll go straight into it today then. The Misfits 20 announcement. How come it hasn't been announced? The people are asking on Twitter.
Um, I've been ready to announce it for over a week, 2 weeks. But we have partners and we have to be aligned. So
So it's just a waiting game now. Okay, well, have you found your replacement for Tommy Fury? Is that all set up now? Are you happy with the replacement? It's an exciting person.
I love it. The guy who's got the guy. Well, look, Tommy Fury pulled out. Darren Till, Tommy wanted a replacement opponent, and to be honest with you, we'll see what happens. We're speaking with Tommy and his team and Big John and seeing what we can work out. But I'm not going to take Darren Till off that card, um, and I was never going to because he didn't do anything wrong in my view. You know, he was promoting the fight. I think it's a big shame because a lot of people wanted to see that fight and were going to be excited about it. But when one door closes, the window opens, and you know what, Darren is. I think he's potentially a big star in Misfits, in the Misfits sphere and in the Misfits universe. He's he stole the show at that presser, and more to come from him. And at the end of the day, the guy who he is fighting, I can't think of someone who deserves a main event spot more than this guy. He's worked his ass off and he's really earned and paved his way. And he's gone from um, being someone who would beg for a chance to be on Misfits to someone who is the core and the essence of the Misfits universe. This guy is has improved immensely as a fighter. He's improved immensely as a person, as a human being. He's a pleasure to work with, and I can't wait for him to have this opportunity. To me, he is the underdog. The challenger is the underdog, and Darren Till is the favorite for sure. But either way, we're going to get fireworks. It's going to be an absolute banger of a fight.
No, certainly. It's a pretty fan-friendly matchup. And the show is no longer pay-per-view, that's correct. So people can
It's
watch it
not.
for free.
It's not pay per view. It's going to be for free, for all the DAZN subscribers, and it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, don't forget to tune in live on the zone. Hopefully, it will be announced very soon indeed. Regarding Tommy Fury though, would you work with him again after he's pulled something like this?
Let's see what happens. He signed a contract. He pulled out of a fight. I don't think the reasoning is really acceptable. Um, considering Tommy's done the same thing, joked about elbowing KSI and that kind of thing. It's part of the promo, isn't it? And it's a fight people wanted to see. I think Darren um, is a legitimate threat as well. And I think he's a tough guy. He's a hell of a character. Let's see what happens.
No, certainly. We could have Darren Till making his Misfits debut. Um, when I interviewed Nikisa, Jake Paul's manager, he was kind of. I was asking about if Tommy Fury had pulled out to make the Jake Paul fight happen and get paid all his Netflix money. Apparently they haven't spoken to him at all, and then so I followed up with the question about KSI. I know it's a cliche one. He was saying Jake Paul would only fight KSI at 185 pounds or 183 pounds at a set weight for $100 million. What would you make of those words from Nikisa?
It's just an excuse. You might as well just say, hey, you know what? This is, I would respect them more if they said, hey, Jake Paul against KSI at that weight is a risk for Jake, and we don't want to take that risk. We'd rather make as much bank as we can from these other fights and convince people that, you know, we're going for a title. But in the meantime, it's really about making as much money as possible. And if we fight KSI, and if for some reason KSI beats Jake, then that whole thing is sloshed. It's done. There's no MVP. There's no Jake Paul gonna go for the world title stuff, which some people are fooled by and others aren't. You know, there are savvy fans out there who have a good comprehension of really what's going on, and they kind of stopped believing it. But the people who really know boxing and understand boxing know it's a pile of shit because Jake won't fight Vidal. Jake won't fight Anthony Yard or Carl Froch or anyone who's a legitimate threat. He'd rather fight a legitimate threat, being Canelo. Obviously, Canelo is more than a threat. I think, hands down, he'll beat Jake. But it's a big enough check for him to go through that. And when he loses that fight, it's not like, you know, I think a lot of people will get satisfaction out of seeing him take a beating from Canelo. But you know, to him, I think marketing wise, he's thinking, well, you know, it's not the end of the world if I lose to Canelo. You know, I'm expected to lose to Canelo. But if I lose to KSI, then the house of cards falls down.
Right, okay. So if he loses to KSI, he doesn't get that Canelo fight. Is that what you're saying?
Of course not. He doesn't get any other fight. And that's the only reason he's not taking this fight. That's the only reason, because it's a massive fight. And Nikisa, look, he's very smug and he's not an authentic person. At least with me, you'll get authenticity, yeah? I'm telling you how I see it. I'm not giving Nikisa backhanded compliments and then shitting on his product. You know, that's how he rolls. And our product is a pure boxing product, but yet you've got Jake fighting Mike Tyson at 60 years old. No, Amanda Serrano, yes. Jake, no. Call it what it is. You've got an entertainment product too, sir. And the colors are it's not so defined. There's gray areas everywhere within what we're both doing. Because if that was the case, why has he got Whindersson Nunes on his card? Which I gave the blessing of, and they asked very politely. Love that guy, Whindersson. Why are they trying to contact some of our roster to try to be on their cards? Because they know what the product is. They're just making out that it's pure boxing, but it's not. They've got like a mesh of the two, but they can't admit it. That's the weird thing. Admit what you are, you know? It's okay. You put on a bigger clown show than we did with Wings and Boogie at the end of the day. So, off with this bullshit. Oh, they've got an entertainment product. We love what they off. We both entertain and we both have elements of great boxing and some elements of more elementary boxing. And that's all there is to it. And if he's really, really competitive and wants to go, put your MVP guys against my best Misfits guys. Because I've got some MF pros. I guarantee we would win that card. We would beat all of their fighters. Every single one of them. Of course, honestly, people are so thick when I joke about Astrid Wet being on it, yeah? Come on, for fuck's sake, have a sense of humor. Of course, I didn't mean, for real, Astrid Wet against Amanda Serrano. I'm joking, But for real, we have the fighters that could compete with some of their guys on there. very, very well. Listen, who do they have? Warner Walton, Dean the Great, or
Or you could do
Lil Cray Cray?
You can do Naraj Guyat versus Anthony Taylor.
I could put anyone against that guy. Okay. And then who else is there? I've got Jahan Ingram for Ashton.
Well, that could be a good one actually. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it would be. I've got let's go. And aside from that, who else is there? That coach as well. The loudmouth coach who got busted for steroids. Anyway, whatever, it's Jake's coach.
Mm.
Put him against one of my guys. Put Ty Mitchell against him.
Mm. No, it'd be good. It'd be almost like Matchroom versus Queensbury. It'd be
No,
good.
yeah, except we'd be the Queensbury side and get 5-0, 6-0, whatever it is. We'll smash them.
The
It's not
point.
even a joke. And put KSI and Jake on the main.
We'll just touch on a couple of fighters. I was gonna put a tweet up. It's a picture of yourself, Dean, and Slim. The Dean and Slim situation, I believe, as it is right now, Slim's welcome to do what he wants to do, and Dean's got 2 fights left. Is that all correct?
Dean's got 2 fights left. He's been given some options. I made offers. Kamel, also Jahan, and then more on the influencer level, Joey Knight, and obviously Lil Cray Cray. So he's got those offers, and that's it. There's no easy fights, in that division. And yeah, he's got 2 fights left. Let's see how it all plays out.
Before we wrap the interview up, summing up 2024 as a whole, some of your favorite standout moments for the whole year, throughout the 8 shows you put on.
I think that 2024 was a really important year for us. We ended up having another profitable year, and KSI wasn't fighting. And I think as a young business, without its main star participating in the actual sport, we've done very well to be in a profit, to have done well, and build some new stars, and put 2 pay-per-views on without KSI fighting. I think that showed us a lot and gave us even another boost of confidence that we are here for the long haul.
No, certainly. It was impressive indeed. And then a few fights. Can you name me a few fights just so the fans can have a little taste
Um,
of what could have been in 2024?
Well, honestly, the US card in Miami, I'm still pissed off about that. I worked really hard. We've never cancelled an event after announcing. So that record is still intact. We never got to announce that card, but we were very close to it, and we never got to do that. And I worked really tirelessly to make those fights happen. It was like completely different, mostly debutantes on Misfits, and including people like Soldier Boy and DDG and DD Osama and who else?
Like
YK Osiris, and the cruiserweight tournament um, would have been finished by now because we would have had the finals in Qatar, I guess. Um, so yeah, it really, it had a domino effect, and messed me up and messed up some plans, and for us to expand quicker into the US with some big US names. I think that was thwarted because of Francis Ngannou. God bless him, love that guy, great fighter, great guy. But they didn't want to, I guess, they didn't want to have us compete with them, because the zone was broadcasting both events, and they didn't want us to compete with them, which um, I think PFL did about 10 to 12,000 pay-per-view buys for that show. So, I think it was a mistake personally. I think they should have allowed us to carry on and build, and we would have done great numbers.
No, certainly. It was a shame, especially with guys like Neon and Jack Doherty on the card. It seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Crazy to cancel
yeah,
that. The two
totally.
biggest streamers in the world.
Yeah, and look, it's a timing thing with guys like Neon. They're not boxers. Jack Doherty's not a boxer. They'll never be a boxer. They'll never take it as seriously as Gibb or Slim or Dean and Salt Pappy. They'll never do that. But the novelty of having a one-off fight, the timing has to be right. So if you get them to agree and then you cancel the event, um, there's no promises that it'll ever happen again, or certainly not. They're not like chomping at the bit to box, uh, other than in that moment. So when these guys they get excited about something, to maintain that excitement 6 months later is almost an impossibility for streamers. You know,
Do you think we'll see?
it's
Do you think we'll see any of those fights happen that were meant to happen on Miami card in 2025?
we'll see some variation of them. I think, if there's still interest, then we'll make it happen. There's some other big names I haven't even mentioned, but yeah, there's a lot of plans for 2025. We just really need to get this we just really need to get this partnership part cohesive and right. So
Mams, as always, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year when it comes around. But yeah, well done on the successful year of 2024, and looking forward to a big year 2025.
Fredericks.